In Poland for the continuing action from the 2006 European Weightlifting Championships. On the menu today for you, first of all this afternoon, the 85 kilos for men, and a little later on the 94 kilo final, which gets underway at 3 o'clock, and I promise you that really is a terrific lineup. Well, alongside myself, David Goldstrom, David Morgan, as you see the lineup for the men's 85 kilo competition. And this is, again, likely to be a very close affair. And the Poles hoping that Mariusz Rytkowski can maybe get a medal for the host nation. But Andrzej Rybakov, he's one of the strongest men around in the first half of the competition in the snatch. If he can improve his form, then there's a chance that Belarus may also feature on the podium. So the weigh-in was just about 2 hours ago, so let's meet the men. This is Takhushev of Russia, one of two Russians, second in Europe a couple of seasons ago. Andrei Hentosh here, no medals yet at international level, representing the Ukraine. And for France, David Matam, trying out 94 kilos, weighed in at 84.20, so he's the lightest of this class. And here the home favourite, Mariusz Rytkowski, second in Europe 4 years ago in Antalya. And next to him in the warm-up room, Natik Hasanov, now representing Azerbaijan, but actually originally from Georgia. And for Armenia, this is the older of the two Martirosyan boys. The younger one competed a little earlier in the 69 kilo class. Yuri Mishkovits, well, experience on his side. He won his first European title back in 1996. Arsen Malikian of Armenia, third in Europe last season. And the man who completes the lineup here, Andrzej Rybakov, world champion in the snatch in Doha last season, and a real danger to everyone, certainly in the first half of the competition. Now, previous champions, well, it'll be a new name on the roll of honor. Ruslan Novikov won it for Belarus last year. Then you can see Ince Izzet of Turkey. The Turks still not allowed into international competition. And then Georgi Azanidze for Georgia, well, one of the major champions for his country in this weight category. So that's the lineup, and we're less than a minute away for the first lifter. And David, I think, as it's been really all week, a very competitive competition in prospect. So I'll put that question to David Morgan once again as we get underway with this men's 85 kilo competition here in Poland. Another gorgeous day outside. David, difficult to pick a winner amongst this lot.
Yes, well, as you've said, this has been the sort of way that the championship has been going. There's been no sort of major outstanding athletes that have kind of run away with it, which is good. You know, all the different countries seem to be winning medals now. And I think it's pretty healthy for the sport.
So, Natik Hasanov to get us underway. This is the man who was born in Georgia and has put in an announced total of 360. Now, he weighed in at exactly 85 kilos, so he is the heaviest man of our finalists. (155 kilos on the bar. Just before we get into this, worth mentioning that the best man from the B group earlier on, one of the Frenchmen, Benjamin Hennequin of France, total of 352, but that shouldn't trouble these men. They should be able to get past that total. can see some of the starting weights. Plenty of men, certainly in the clean and jerk, going to open up on 200. But you look at the difference here, David. I mean, 158 kilos, 170. There's only a 12 kilo spread in starting weights here. So perhaps the emphasis yet again on he who can put in 6 good attempts may well profit and end up on the medal podium. Not on the top step, at least on one of them. So Hasanov having to come out and follow himself again. 28 years of age. And he's struggling. This is a weight that, if you go back a few years, he was achieving comfortably. 2002, 160. 2003 in the World Championships, 157.5. So,
yes, it's an unusual way to miss a first attempt. He's not missing it really because of bad technique. He's missing it because he's not gaining enough height on the bar.
The other thing is he did post 160 as a starting weight, so he's come down to 155. So there's again an indication that maybe not everything is the way he would have wished it to be today. But he's now under the cosh, really. One more go. And I'm sure he's well alert and well aware of the significance of this last attempt here. It's not the way we would wish to start. 155 kilos. We really need him to get this to keep in the overall competition. Not his day.
No. I was just about to say that if I was coaching him, I'd be struggling to know what to tell him going out for that third attempt, because it's not technique. He's just not. They've just given him too much weight, which is interesting considering they brought him down from 160 to 155. The weight was just too heavy.
Well, what that means is that the Frenchman, Benjamin Hennequin, and one or two others in the B group are all going to rise one place up the order in the overall rankings. In recent times, well, Zlatan Vanev of Bulgaria, at the height of his powers, took the title in 2003 with a 215 kilo title, and the great Mark Huster in La Corona in 1999 also totaled the same amount. So now the French. David Matam, who's been operating at 94 kilos as a build-up to this competition. In the national championships at 94 kilos, snatched 167. That was in March. So it's a natural thing for him to do, David, isn't it? And then come down to his preferred weight. The lightest man in the final today. 160 as a starter.
I think he's happy with that. Well, in the training room they call him the machine because he just keeps going and going.
Yeah, like his teammate Wenceslas Dabaya, formerly from the Cameroons, and again a former Commonwealth Games champion, and switched to France to get the full support to improve his performances. He was 8th in Europe last year, 160, 192.5 and 352.5, so hopefully better things. As onto the stage comes Poland's Mariusz Rytkowski. ...29 years of age, pretty experienced. Not a good start, and he was a long way from that. He had another lifter who has found his way to Poland. He was originally born in Minsk, the now capital of Belarus.
Yes, again, not really getting enough height on the bar, which is an unusual way to fail a first attempt. He needs to pull that bar just a couple of inches higher so that he's able to fix it overhead on locked arms.
Just a reminder of our email address, question@weightlifting.de. Very good morning to Justin May in Ireland. Hope you're with us. Thanks for your email and the nice words. You had a couple of questions. Gather you used to compete about 20 years ago, and you were asking a couple of things. First thing, David, Justin looking to get back into the sport, and he's wondering whether there's somewhere on mail order he could buy some weightlifting shoes from.
Yes, if he goes onto the web, Pullum Sports. Pullum Sports, Pullum Sports. I think it's pullumsports.com, and they do a very, very good mail order service. They do everything: boots, belts, leotards, supplements, the whole thing. But they're very good. They're an efficient company, and they're quite specialist in weightlifting.
Excellent. Hope that helps, Justin. Your other question we'll answer a bit later, but here comes Witkowski for his second attempt at 160. So, plenty of home fans in the hall already here for this holiday week, as it is in Władysławowo by the Baltic Sea.
Well, that's worrying. So the first lift didn't get enough height. Second lift seemed psyched out. Didn't even really go for it at all. Just a high pull, and he's got problems now.
Well, again, he's
not just physical, psychological as well.
Again, he's a man. If you go back and look at his records when he was European silver medalist, I mean, it is 4 years ago. 4 years ago, he was 25 years of age, snatching 172.5 and totaling up 380. He's not going to get there today. Just to come back to Justin, Justin, you're also asking about the weights loaded on the outside of the collars. Now, I can promise you the loaders aren't lazy. They've done a cracking job here this week. It's this new weight that's been developed by Elico, which has an internal self-grip, which allows you to quickly load anything from half a kilo up to 2 kilos on the outside of the collars. And I think it's very effective. So once again, question@weightlifting.de. Love to hear from any of you out there, and hope you've been enjoying the championship. Still plenty to look forward to. We have got an absolutely cracking 94 kilo competition to come a little later. We've got the world champion, the Olympic champion, a former world champion, 3 former European champions, the junior world champion, European silver medalist. There's hardly anybody missing from it. We get underway with that one at 3 o'clock Central European time live. So I hope you can spend a longer afternoon with us today. So we've had one bomb out. Let's hope, for goodness sake, David, that the Polish coaching team has managed to put him back on track. So Mariusz Witkowski. It's got to be perfect.
No, just again too heavy.
Well, that's a real shock and a real disappointment, I have to say, because if I look down the snatch rankings, only Benjamin Hennequin lifted 160. The nearest to him were Andrej Kutlik of Slovakia. This was in the B group earlier on 150, and also Rauli Siredkidze of Georgia had 150. But Benjamin Hennequin, that 160 is holding up. So in a sense, David, sadly, this is where the European final for 85 kilos for men now begins.
Yes, I think rather too many failures so far for our liking.
Well, this is 28-year-old Andrei Hentosh for the Ukraine. Again, we haven't seen much of him on an international stage for quite a while. Got to go back 3 years. And so far, we haven't had a good attempt.
We've had one, haven't we, from the Frenchman,
oh, yes,
Matan, but I can understand why you would think we haven't.
Yeah.
Yes, out of 8 attempts that have gone so far, there's only been one success from the Frenchman, Matan the Machine.
Yeah, on 160, and well, David weighed in at 84.20, so compared to his teammate Benjamin Hennequin, who weighed in at 84 kilos exactly. So at this particular moment, Hennequin of France from the B group is actually leading the 85 kilo championship. What it does tell us, David, is that there is continuing progress in the French Federation being led by Jean-Paul Bourgaret-Dez, because we're seeing it, you know, across the weight categories, both in the men and the women's division. Encouraging to see a Western European country making progress. Benjamin Hennequin, 21 years of age, from Bordeaux, or that's the club he lives for. The way it's started, it's a pity we didn't see him in the A group, actually. So Hentosh following himself. And this is a very disappointing start, I have to say, to this weight category. But it will surely brighten up. Just to whet your appetite, I was talking about Andrei Rybakov. Well, he took the snatch gold with 185 kilos in Doha, and that's only 3 kilos short of the best in the world. So if he's anywhere in that sort of form...
Well, this is extraordinary.
Yeah. Well, have they all overestimated? Have they all misjudged? I mean, you know, they've all been in the warm-up room over the past hour. Have they all been psyching each other out, thinking that they've got to go higher to get going? But, you know, 162, David, 160, 162, this is pretty modest.
Yes, I mean, going back to Rybakov, he is actually, though, a snatch specialist.
Yeah.
And he's very, very, well, comparatively poor in the clean and jerk. So I would expect him to definitely take a commanding lead. But yeah, even though he takes a commanding lead, don't take it for granted that he's going to win, because often what we've seen him do in the past is be the last man to come out on the snatch,
yeah,
and then actually the first man to come out on the clean and jerk.
Well, we saw Shramiak of Poland last night in the 77 kilos sadly miss out on an overall medal, but he'd had this sort of hoodoo bug of not getting a total in it because all the clean and jerks were, you know, failing. But, you know, he did a really good job last night, got 2 out of 3 in. It's just a pity that he couldn't have got that medal. But, you know, maybe Rybakov, be interesting to see whether he's managed to do anything about his weakness, his Achilles heel, which is the clean and jerk, as you rightly say. Well, this will be really disappointing, and I can't remember, David, for a long time, 3 men in the A final going first, second and third, and all 3 of them bombing out. Surely somebody's got to stop the rot. 162 kilos on the bar. This would give him the lead.
Мощно встань на ноге. Поднимай.
Wow.
Well, 3 bombers out of the 4 men that we've seen so far.
Yeah. So, Benjamin Hennequin of France continues to lead ahead of David Matam of France, his teammate. I'm sure that's going to change, but the bar is going up now to 165 kilos, and I think it'll be for Tigran Matirossian. So Tigran, oh, it's actually Arsene Melikian. Also for Armenia.
Yes, he was posted at 160 and has opted for 165, whereas some of the men we've seen so far were posted at higher weights, came down and were still unable to achieve them.
Well, this man is massively experienced. He was the Olympic bronze medalist at 77 kilos in Sydney in 2000, but he didn't total in Doha in the World Championships last year.
I don't really know what's happening here, David. Has somebody changed the weights? Has somebody painted some 25 kilo discs blue?
I mean, it's very unusual. I can't remember this for an awful long time. And Mellow, as he's known, he's anything but mellow. I think he's wound up now. David Matam coming onto the stage here. The only man, as you rightly said, David, who's so far produced a successful lift and now going for 165 kilos, which will take him ahead of his teammate and into the overall lead. And goodness gracious me, let's hope that the 30-year-old who lifts for France now can break this awful sequence of failure.
Allez, fort jusqu'au bout.
I think he's pretty happy with that.
Yeah, work for it. 2-1 though. Central referee didn't like it. And the central referee is Jan Stefanik from Slovakia. So let's have a look at this. Cause for a failure?
I don't think so. Pretty good to me. Let's watch again from the front. Maybe that right arm.
Nonetheless, it's 2-1, which puts him into the lead. So France 1, France 2 at the moment. Now let's just hope that David Matam has sent some positive vibes into the rest of the competitors. And this is Melikian coming out again hugely experienced.
And the interesting thing about the failures is that everybody failed. They didn't just all fail, they all failed in the same way. They didn't manage to get enough height on the bar to fix it overhead, which indicates that they all started too heavy. I mean, you know, there's different reasons for failing. So, you know, it's very rarely that the weight's too heavy on the first attempt.
Yeah, because as we always and often say, the first lift should be one that you're pretty sure that you're going to make. Well, not more than, well, more than pretty sure. Absolutely certain. Yeah. Well, that's better. No questions about that. 165 kilos there for Arsene Melikian. He weighed in at 84.80, so he only goes into second place, splits the two Frenchmen. David Matam still with the advantage. So maybe now we're really going to get going. Let's hope so. European record. Andrei Rybakov, 185 kilos. That's the amount he lifted to take the snatch gold in the World Championships in Doha last year. Clean and jerk European record. Zlatan Vanev, 217 in Warsaw back in 2002 in the World Championships. And Georgi Azanidze, who notched up a hat-trick of European titles in this particular category, the European total at 390.
So the bar now going to 168 kilos for Matin.
What did we say? Or at least I said it. You know, anybody can make 6 out of 6. So this is a kilo more than he lifted in the national championships when he was up at 94 kilos. So if he does this, David, I think it'll be very good indeed.
I think psychologically, I think he's up for it. He's pretty happy with those first two.
This will be a little bit tougher, I think.
Oh dear, no, that is not good. If he's pulled the elbow out, it's one of those awful things that actually looks, believe it or not, much worse than it is. But I'm afraid that's a dislocation. Yeah. So there's no way he's going to be carrying on today. Although, funnily enough, we've seen this happen before, and we've seen lifters come back within a few months. But he's going to have to go away and have that put back in.
Yeah, normally
it's one of those things you just hate. Oh, you just hate to see that, and I hate watching that in the slow-mo. Just, yeah, that's horrible. We've seen that happen.
Yeah.
Quite a few times,
and that's that really is rotten luck. Disappointing. Just go through that, David. What did he do that resulted in that?
I don't know. I mean, it's who can tell why that happens. I mean, we've seen it happen a lot, especially on the snatch with the wide grip when the bar's behind the head. That's a shame because he was doing so well. His confidence was high. But when you go for these new personal bests, as you say, unknown territory.
Well, on we go with Zal Takushev of Russia. 2 Russians in this. This is the younger of the two, just 24 years of age. He was competing in the national championships in Kazan, which is 3 to 4 hours east of Moscow by plane towards the sort of Mongolian part of Russia. Yet another failure.
It's amazing, isn't it? When it starts, it seems to be catching. I think what you said earlier about this class, the person that gets 5 or 6 good lifts in is going to be the person that wins.
Well, it could well be that way, but let's hope that we move on. I mean, the only thing I would say, David, is the way it's going at the moment, Rybakov, well, he could have a very useful advantage. Second of the Armenians, and this is Tigran Martirosyan, the older of the 2 Martirosyan brothers. His younger brother competed in 69 kilos earlier in the week. Didn't actually have a great time, bombed out in the clean and jerk, but here's Tigran.
He was posted at 165, so he's gone up 5 kilos, which would suggest that the warm-up has gone to plan.
Well, this is only a couple of kilos less than he lifted in Doha, so you're absolutely right. Let's hope it's a good start.
Oh, well,
what is happening? What is happening?
It's not just failures. I mean, in Matam's, who was doing quite well,
yeah,
complete disaster with that elbow dislocation. So I'm just looking. We've had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 failures out of what? 14 lifts.
Yeah, I mean, the percentages are horrible.
15 left.
And still Matam leading the way. The bar's gone to 170 now for Yuri Mishkovets. Second of the Russians. He's the oldest man of the class. He's massively experienced. He won his first European title back in Stavanger in Norway in 1996. He's also been second and third a couple of times. He's been third in the world. And he lifted 176 in Kazan in the national championships in February. So he should be up to this.
Oh, I really don't understand what's going on here. This is crazy.
Well, this championship is there for the taking if somebody can get their act together.
I don't think I've ever seen so many failures.
Well, the extraordinary thing about it at the moment is that David Matam, with that dislocated elbow, which, David, they'll pop back in very quickly. The doctor was right on stage, very, very sharp.
Yes.
And, I mean, obviously he won't be able to continue, as you said, but the way they're going at the moment, he could end up with a medal. Because there are an awful lot of people running out of attempts here. So this is Takushev, the younger of the two Russians again. And he has been a bit of a worry in competition. He's great in the training hall. He's not so good in competition. And there you go again. Gets really, really nervous. He didn't total up in Athens. He was second in Kiev in the Europeans 2 seasons ago, when he actually snatched 177.5 kilos on his way to a 377.5 total, but he's only got one more life left.
Well, of 18 attempts, there's been only 3 successes.
And those belong to David Matam, who's now injured and out of the competition, and Arsen Malikian of Armenia, who's currently in second place. Now, this is not Arsen Malikian, this is his teammate, Martyrossian. And Martyrossian has had 2 failures?
1 failure.
1 failure, sorry. Well, let's hope it isn't a second failure. 170 on the bar, second attempt.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Well, this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't think I've ever seen a category at world or indeed European level where we've had so many failures. There are now, well,
16 failures out of 19 lifts.
Yeah, I mean, Yuri Mishkovets has got 2 lifts left. Rybakov has got all 3 of his, so that's 5. Takushev has got 1.6, and Malikian's got 1.7. There's only about 7 lifts left in the whole competition, and still David Matam leading, and his teammate from the B group, Benjamin Hennequin, still in bronze medal position with his 160 from earlier in the day. So this is absolutely extraordinary. Well, surely Mishkovets can sort this out. And he's 10 kilos short of his personal best, and he's 6 kilos less than what he did in the national championships. Come on. So, new leader. So the man from the B group gets knocked off the podium. It's Mishkovets with 170, Matam in silver on 165, and Malikian of Armenia also on 165, but just in third place by virtue of his slightly heavier body weight. And here he comes. Well, you'll see him in a moment, onto the stage. So Yuri Mishkovets, third attempt, 170. Sorry, not Yuri Mishkovets, Malikian.
Malikian.
Apologies. So this 170.
We'll put him into second.
Yeah,
because he's heavier than
Mishkovets,
than the Russian.
Coming down to 10 seconds. Well, he stays third. Well, Takushev has got one. Martirosyan has got one attempt left also. Mishkovets one attempt. And Rybakov, the European snatch record holder, waiting in the wings, David, to go with all three. What did Rybakov post? He said he'd come in at 175. So at the moment, no panic. Not from him anyway. Takushev under the kosh now. Hentosh of the Ukraine has bombed out. Rykovsky of Poland has bombed out. Hasanov of Azerbaijan has bombed out.
And Matan hasn't bombed out, but he is out because of that elbow dislocation.
So that's 4 men out of the competition. And he saved the day. Well, his day anyway, 170, and because of his body weight, 84.50, that's taken him from nowhere to the top of the table. But when you think that he lifted 177 in the national championships, that's not a good sequence. Very strange, David. It's almost like the whole field lost its confidence.
It is strange.
It is strange because you are so focused on what you're doing as a lifter. It's up to the coaches to worry about what everybody else is doing. So Martirosyan, he faces the same test here as the man who just preceded him. Now he weighed in at 83.85, which is actually lighter than David Matan.
Well, I don't understand what he's doing. I mean, he posted 165, put it up to 170, which would have indicated that his warm-up went well.
And now he's put it to...
I held it twice and then put it up to 172.
Little logic. And he's got the light body weight, so he could go straight into the lead on body weight alone. So very strange selection of lifts by the Armenian team.
So
that's the 5th man.
He's out.
Of course, they can all go for the clean and jerk.
9 men, 5 out.
So only 4 can get a championship overall medal. And it just makes me feel even more sorry for the Frenchman, David Matan, David, because you know the way things have gone, he really would have had a chance to go for an overall medal. That is so disappointing. So Yuri Mishkovets, I think, will be next out. Well, 175. If he is the next man out, it means that Rybakov has put the weight up, because he was due to come out for 175. And so presumably Rybakov, we haven't seen the blackboard, but in the back room, but it would have to be 176, or maybe he's going for more.
But again, this is a strange weight to be taking. He only needs 171.
Or maybe they're looking at the overall situation and thinking that if he can take this 175, then that's going to give him a much better advantage of capitalising in the second half. Because remember, you were saying how Rybakov's Achilles heel is the clean and jerk. His clean and jerk is much stronger, so the 5 kilos here could keep him a lot closer to Rybakov. If Rybakov goes all the way to 185, he could have a 10 kilo advantage over this man, and that might, you know, that's why this 5 kilos is important, I think. Well, it leaves him on 170 and in second place to his teammate Takushev, who at the moment is in gold. Mishkovets for Russia in silver, and David Matam of France in the bronze medal position on 165 kilos. And, well, Rybakov putting the bar straight to 180. So that's 5 kilos up on his announced opening weight. So if he's in his form of Doha last year, this is going to be the most straightforward gold medal of the whole championship. Individual gold medals and medals at every discipline, but the overall title so I think, David, if he can do this, he'll go straight for a new European record after this.
Yes, this is the medal,
and this is a 10 kilo advantage. So it's an important lift in every sense. 15 seconds. The world record holder does not let us down, takes the gold medal and gives himself a 10 kilo advantage. He's got 2 lifts to go.
I'm not sure what he's going to do now. I mean, you'd think he'd take 186, but having said that, because of the weakness in the clean and jerk, maybe he's going to go 4 kilos and build, because he literally needs every kilo he can get. Because his clean and jerk, from what we've seen so far anyway, is so weak. Well, it's gone to 186.
Yeah, but he's got a clean and jerk of 204 kilos. So, you know, that's maybe 6 or 7 kilos. I think he's already putting himself in almost an unassailable position. I'm just having a look at this, David, because I don't want to make the same mistake as we made or the other night here, because the world record for the snatch under the old half kilo rule was 182.5, which was actually held by Rybakov. And under the new regime,
it must be 185.
Yeah, it's 185.
So this is a new world and European record.
Yeah.
At 186 kilos.
Yeah, just double checking that, because there are 2 tables in existence now, and Rybakov actually at 185 holds the record. Actually, there's 182 that he set as a junior, 185 in Doha. So here we go. World record attempt, 186 kilos. And this would be, for, under normal circumstances, David, an unassailable lead of 16 kilos. I mean, it's heavier than both of the Russians, Takushev and Mishkovets, but I've got a feeling he can do this. Well, he's got one more attempt, and I'm sure he's going to take it.
Yeah, it'd be nice if he could get it, because it'd almost be a nice consolation, sort of prize after the amount of failures that we've seen in this class. To actually finish on a world and European record would be great.
Now, how does he get that record? What's he got to?
He just got to finish a bit more in the pull to make sure it's fixed on locked arms. I think you're right. I think he can do it. And I think he needs to do it if he's going to win the overall. I think he needs to.
You think you're not confident? 10 kilos for you isn't enough as a lead?
I don't think so. But having said that, maybe he's gone away, worked on his weakness, and maybe we're going to see a different man out there on the clean and jerk.
But 16 kilos, it would make it mighty difficult for Takashev and Mishkovets and Malikian, because those are the only other three guys in the competition in respect of the overall total. Everybody else can go for clean and jerk honours, but that's it. So plenty of time, 45 seconds. Arms right out to the extremity of the bar. So second attempt at a world snatch record, 186 kilos. Come on, come on. That's just what we wanted to see. A bit of quality after a pretty dismal first half. And Andrei Rybakov gets those extra 6 kilos, which may well help him to take the overall championship. But the world record holder in Doha extends the world record by a kilo to 186 kilos.
It's great lifting. And just what we needed, actually.
Yeah, some compensation for the other night for poor Gennady Oleshuk when they didn't actually load the world record weight on the bar. They missed by 1 kilo because of the confusion as to what is and what isn't the world record at the moment. They loaded 197. It should have been 198, which he could have easily lifted. Nevertheless, this man has not made any mistake. 186, and he takes a 16 kilo advantage over the two Russians into the second half of the competition. Belarus with the edge, more than the edge on paper, over Russia with David Matam in 4th place. And that's a pity, David, because in a funny sort of way, it would have been nice for him to have got a consolation prize out of this. But not to be. And Arsen Malikian, the only other man in the competition. Only Rybakov, Takashev, Mishkovets and Malikian are left to fight for overall honours. And that's something I don't think any of us envisaged this morning. So they've got about 10 minutes to prepare for the clean and jerk, but look at all that red. And no one making 3 out of 3, but Rybakov a new world record, 16 clear of Takashev and Mishkovets. Matam injured and taking no further part. Malikian, well, he's down on 165 kilos, 21 kilos off the lead. We'll take a break. We'll be back for the clean and jerk here in Vladislavovo after this.
Yes, so deep concentration with this weight of 109 kilos. Good clean. A long pause before the dip and the drive, and there's no mistake about that.
Munteanu winning the 53 kilo title by just a kilo over Trotsenko of the Ukraine and Virginie Lachaume of France. Shainova also looking to defend her title in the women's 58 kilos and making absolutely no mistake.
Yeah, succeeding there with a final clean and jerk of 135 kilos.
Shainova absolutely delighted. The Russians, who in Bulgaria last year took 5 out of a possible 7 women's championships, represented in the 63 kilo class by Svetlana Shimkova. This Shimkova going for a world record.
Yes, the bar now already had the title won, decided to take 141 kilos. And as you quite rightly say, David, established a new world record in the clean and jerk.
141 kilos to take that record away from the very, very talented Thai lifter Pavina Thongsup. A 69 kilo championship in the shape and form of the junior world champion Tatiana Matveeva, looking for her first senior European title.
Yeah, she snatched 112, then managed a clean and jerk of 140, then failed with 145, and this is her final attempt with that weight. Which she succeeded with.
To make it 3 Russian championships in a row. Underlining that this group of young women in their early 20s, Zabolotnaya, arguably the most exciting female lifter on the circuit, looking for the European title at 75 kilos, which she previously won in 2003 in Loutraki.
Yes, and that won the title for her. She did actually go on to try the world record, but on this occasion was unsuccessful.
Clean and jerk about to begin. David Morgan, together with myself, David Goldstrom. And once again, please take advantage of our email address, question@weightlifting.de. Question coming up for David after this. The first attempt by Andrei Hentosh of the Ukraine in this clean and jerk competition, opening up on 193 kilos. And David, one of 5 men who bombed out, so he's only left to go for clean and jerk honours.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, all the men that bombed out, probably with the exception of Matan with that elbow dislocation, will be carrying on in the clean and jerk, because of course in the European Championships there are individual medals for the individual lifts as well as the overall.
Yeah, well, there's an indication from the warm-up room, David. We know, as you said, that Matan's out, that's enforced, but it looks as if Ritkowski of Poland, who was one of the men who didn't manage to get a decent snatch in, it looks as if he's retired. It's not official, but at the moment that's the indication on our computer here. So the man who's got a total at the moment is the other Frenchman from the B group, Benjamin Hennequin, on 352 kilos. So at the moment he leads the competition. Bar going up to 195. And this will be for Martirosyan, I think. Again, like the man who's just preceded him, Hentosh, can only go for clean and jerk honours. And an email in from Glenn. Glad you're enjoying the weightlifting. David, Glenn asking at what age, he was thinking of his sons, a couple of his sons, what age can you start weightlifting and how?
I mean, you could start as young as 10 years old, because weightlifting is a very technical sport.
Should we just...
We'll answer that after this lift.
Because, as you predicted, David, Andrei Rybakov, who's got a 16 kilo advantage, has come in very early, because this is his weak phase, the clean and jerk.
Well, he just come in at 9 kilos more than he snatched, so he's literally just finished snatching and has had to warm up very, very quickly. So that was pretty confident, though.
I think that was, to be sure, David, to make sure that there was no fuss or bother with the total. He posted 190, he came in at 195, so clearly, you know, he's solid in his mind, feeling strong, and immediately gives him a total of 381. He totaled 380 in Doha. Obviously that extra kilo he took to make the world record, so he's now equaled his world championship performance that was actually in Doha good enough for 5th place. So he's kept that 16 kilo advantage. It'll be up really to the two Russians to try and whittle it away.
Going back to your earlier question on the
Absolutely.
age to start weightlifting, you can start very young because obviously it's a technical sport, so you can start teaching technique as young as 10 years old. But it's also not just about strength; it's about speed as well. So you can also start things like jumping and bounding exercises.
Well, we have a schools program in Great Britain, which is pretty well run. But there you start with lighter bar.
Yes, they have a 7 kilo bar, and I don't know if they still do it. They used to run a competition called Britain's Strongest Schoolboy, which had a pretty big uptake actually.
This is Melikian coming in for 197. Now, of course, he's got a valid snatch of 165. But he's got a big deficit to make up on Rybakov, all of 21 kilos. And this would only grab back a couple of them.
Well, we've had a better start in the clean and jerk than the snatch anyway.
Yeah, it gives him a total 362 versus 381, so 20 kilos. Or 18, 19 kilos, I should say, difference between the two men. But he leads the clean and jerk. But I don't think Rybakov's worried about clean and jerk medals. He just wants to hold on to the overall championship. He's being given a fantastic opportunity. He will never get an opportunity like this in his life again, I don't think, David, to win an overall championship. If it doesn't happen today, it may never happen. In the national championships in Minsk in February, did clean and jerk 204, and I know he's posted 199 as his second attempt. So Yuri Mishkovets in bronze medal position, and one of two men 16 kilos off the pace at the halfway stage, now looking to reduce that to 13 kilos. It's interesting again, David, looking at him in Kazan in February in the national championships, 200, and his lifetime best is around 210. So that world record just could have put this out of his grasp, you know. Because he's going to have to go to a lifetime best to take the title away from Rybakov. So Mishkovets leads in the clean and jerk, currently second overall. And the Ukrainian back on stage now, Hentosh, looking for consolation prizes. Yeah, good enough.
Yes, just a couple of steps forward, but the three white lines.
Bar goes to 199, so Rybakov should be coming out again, but does anybody else want this as a starter?
Yeah, this is, I think 199 is sensible, because it means that people are going to have to do at least 16 kilos more than
yeah.
him.
And in fact, the bar's gone to 200, so sense or no sense, I suppose the Belarus squad are thinking that, you know, they're home and hosed, but it's not until he crossed the line. Well, he's got the championship.
If he does 200, I just can't. It's too much to make up.
It's the other Russian who's going to come out of first, I think, Takushev. Takushev, silver medal, of course, from the first half. A little bit lighter than Mishkovitz. A little bit of Kalinka background music to herald this man onto the stage. Again, you'd have to say, David, if he wants to have any hope, he's got to well, he'll get it. How much further he can go, I'm not sure. So that takes him to the lead in the clean and jerk, 200 kilos, and overall he's now within 11 kilos of Rybakov, who, as you see the replay here, is walking out onto the stage. So 200. This would re-establish his 16 kilo advantage. So you could say, David, this is the absolute crucial one.
Yes, this to put him on 386, and in my opinion, an unassailable lead in the overall. Of course, there are clean and jerk medals to go for.
Yeah, I don't think he's worried about those at all. It's this lift. Happy with the left arm.
Well, the referees are happy with it.
200, 386. Well, now they've got to go effectively. Both Yuri Mishkovitz and Takushev have now on their second attempts, David. To get anywhere near, they'd have to go 210 on their second lifts, you know, which is lifetime best. And, you know, that would give them a chance, a platform on which to attack, but I can't see it.
No. The overall is won, the snatch is won. This is now a fight for the minor medals and possibly the clean and jerk gold.
Yeah. As
Yes, Matan sitting in the audience there. Doesn't look too worried about his elbow dislocation.
Well, they put it back and it's now recovery time, but, you know, just rotten bad luck, really. So it could be Rybakov at the moment. The bar's gone to 201. 202. Hentosh was sure that Rybakov would take a bit more. As I said, he did 204 in the Nationals. So I would think that's probably what he's going to go for next, actually. Probably do 204.
Well, the good thing is he's got the snatch world record. He's in my opinion got the overall. So now he's just going to try and hold on to the clean and jerk.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do anything silly or risk an injury, though, because there's really no need. So The bar's gone to 2:02, and the suggestion is that Yuri Mishkovits is going to come out for Russia, which he is, and he's got 44 seconds, just a little less than that. So this is a fairly straightforward, or it should be, 4 kilo increase for him. It would take him to 372 and above his teammate Takushev, and it looks as if these two Russians are going to duel for silver and bronze overall. Because Malikian of Armenia just too far back, I think, to make any real difference. So back into overall silver, and into the lead in the clean and jerk goes Yuri Mishkovits. Lifts for St. Petersburg. Born in the Urals. And has been a pretty good servant. He's always, or nearly always, delivered the goods. Lots of medals. Also a lifter in the German Bundesliga. That's Mishkovits. So this is Hentosh for the Ukraine. So 2:02 for Hentosh. Weighed in at 84.50, which is lighter than Mishkovits, so this would take him into the lead in the clean and jerk. An interesting little discussion amongst all these coaches afterwards as to their first phase here, David. Because there'll be one or two of them who'll be kicking themselves. And more news from the back room. It looks like Hasanov of Azerbaijan is not going to take any part either. He's withdrawn. As Hentosh perhaps starts to reach his limit. So Mishkovits stays second. Takushev stays in third place, but Rybakov, well, the smile must be broadening all the time here, David, because one by one challenges are falling away, and Rybakov, who knows? I mean, he's sitting on 200 in third place in the clean and jerk. Can't imagine that he would have thought at the beginning of the day that he might have a chance of a clean and jerk medal. So Takushev going for 2:03. Take him to 373, just a kilo above his teammate. Well, they're not even attacking Rybakov, are they? They've let him go.
No,
they've let him go.
They've got to just concentrate now on what they can do, and that's possibly win a gold in the clean and jerk.
Well, they've wrapped up the Russians have wrapped up 4 titles in the women's division, but they've only had 1 success in the men's. That was Dmitry Voronin in the 62 kilo class. And he doesn't like the weight on his shoulders.
I think it's just across the windpipe there.
So Mishkovits stays in second place. Well, I reckon that Rybakov would come in for 2:04. So I suppose Takushev's got to come out for this 2:03 again. That's it'll be his 3rd attempt, so what he can do is hope that he gets ahead of Mishkovits, and then Mishkovits runs into trouble on his last clean and jerk. But Malikian still in the wings on 197, has only had 1 attempt at the clean and jerk. perhaps we shouldn't entirely forget him. And the reason I say that, David, is because he had 165. He was 5 kilos down on the Russians at the halfway stage. Clean and jerk was his undoing in Doha in the World Championships, but he'd have to go to new places to take the medals away from the Russians, or at least from one of them. Yeah, he's 8 kilos behind Takushev Melikian and 10 behind Mishkovets, but he does have 2 attempts to go.
No.
No. And that was fairly predictable, I have to say. So nothing's changed. Now the other man who we haven't seen, David, is Martirosyan, the Armenian.
I think he's out.
Well,
I saw the board in the back room, and there's a line. There was a line through.
Yeah, that hasn't come through on the computer screen next to me.
There was a line through, so I'm guessing that they know something that we don't. And look at his opener. I mean, he was posted to come in at 195.
Yeah,
we're way past that now.
So 204 for Malikian is the weight that's posted. Now, because this will be his second attempt, and Rybakov, it would be his third, so if he comes in on 204, I've got a funny feeling that's what he is going to do. But actually the clock's counting down, and Malikian on 204, he's only got 30 seconds, so the clock will be stopped. And unless he's out of this as well, surely they've got to stop the clock. Yeah. Well, it hasn't stopped at the moment, it's still running down in front of us. So what is happening here? Malikian was on the attempt board in front of us, as you see the officials in the back room. This should be Malikian coming in to take 204, but is it going to be timed out? Well, a little bit of confusion here. Surely he hasn't thrown away a lift, does he? Where is it?
Well, again, according to the scoreboard, yes, he has.
Well, that's sweet music for Rybakov, because it means that that clean and jerk bronze medal is a real possibility. But let me amend that thought. Rybakov coming out for his third and final attempt, and the bar is being raised to 205, which would give him the lead. Well, I don't think, David, you or me could have ever imagined that Rybakov was A, going to win the championship, B, get a medal in the clean and jerk, C, possibly get the gold medal in the clean and jerk.
Well, the bar's moving to 206 kilos now, so a lot of...
Well, he's really pushing himself here. This is better than the national championships. You would expect him to be able to go there, but this is absolutely a lifetime best in clean and jerk, and he's got 37 seconds because they've just been a little slack in getting him out there. It's not the best way to try and lift a lifetime's best, to be rushed. 27 seconds. He can do this. But everything's racing away, coming down to 15 seconds now as he locks on. 10.
5. Looks good.
Well, that's what you call a perfect day if you're a Belarusian with a name, Andrei Rybakov.
Yes, gone away, worked on his weakness, and that surely, right, well, it's definitely the overall, possibly even the gold medal on the clean and jerk.
Well, 392, he's got himself a new total. Lifetime best, he's got a new clean and jerk best, he's got a world record in the snatch. Well, it doesn't come much better than that, David. And he's got his first senior continental championship. So that really is a splendid performance. And his total up for 392. And I believe that's also a European total record, because I had 390 down for Azanidze of Georgia, who won the 2000 title in Sofia. And we'll double check on that, but I think that is a European total record. So now Mishkovitz 206.
Well, that would have given him the gold on the clean and jerk, but as it is, he finishes on 272. Sorry, 372.
And just to verify, David, that that European total record has gone. If you look here in the records that we've got in front of us there, Georgia Azanidze 390. Achieved in Sofia 2000, and Rybakov, well, 392, new European total. Just out of interest, the clean and jerk European record, Zlatan Vanev 217, so that's a long way away, but completely irrelevant. Now here comes Malikian. Now maybe he had a problem, David, because he missed, he was timed out on the second attempt. This of course would give him, or put him into the clean and jerk gold position. There's nobody else to really take it away from him. So this for the big consolation prize. Got the clean.
Oh, well, hold. Oh, well, almost lost it, then got it back. Well, that was a good effort. It was a really, in a way, he kind of deserved that, really.
The coach was actually running up to the side of the stage there, banging on the side of the platform. He was very, very close. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Unfortunately, it leaves him out of the medals. It leaves him with a total of 362. Here you go, David. The clean wasn't bad at all.
No, very good. Worked really, really hard. Was timed out on that 204. Got it to arm's length, but just couldn't get underneath the bar and stand still for the 2 seconds required.
Yeah, he can have a look at the hips here. You can just
struggling to get it underneath that bar, but it was not to be.
Yeah, what a pity. Well, it's been a funny old 85 kilos championship. It's had all sorts of moments, hasn't it? But at the end of the day, take nothing away from Andrei Rybakov of Belarus, because he's come out and done the business and thoroughly deserves his European championship, absolutely deserves his world snatch record, and a worthy European total of 292 kilos, the best ever since these weight categories were established back in 1980.
I was doing it with him.
I don't know, actually I don't know the currency in Armenia, but I have a distinct feeling that there was a few bob riding on that. Well, here it is. This is the story. Andrei Rybakov, not one, not two, but as a result, again, that clean and jerk, 206 lifetime best. He's taken all 3 gold medals. Mishkovets and Takushev, the Russians, flip-flopping throughout the competition, but Mishkovets at the end of the day getting the better of the clean and jerk argument. 202. Takushev couldn't deliver either of those 203, so he has to be satisfied with the bronze medal. And Hentosh also looking for consolation and not able to do the 202, which would have awarded him or earned him a medal in the clean and jerk. Looking for the total results still to come, because the overall championship won by Andrei Rybakov. And here are the total results. And the total results on the screen: Andrei Rybakov, 392 kilos. And look at that, 20 clear of Mishkovets. Takushev, 370. And Malikian, a very modest 362. Only 4 men went all the way today, but Andrei Rybakov absolutely superior in every department. And there's Matam nursing that dislocated shoulder. And as a result of those successes, Belarus consolidating their position behind Russia in the overall medal table with 10 golds, 2 silvers and 3 bronze medals. The 94 kilo competition still to come. That gets underway at 3 o'clock Central European time. David and myself will be back live for that, and it is a cracker. The Olympic champion, the world champion, the former world champion, the junior world champion. There's virtually nobody missing in that, and surely we'll have more success than failure. But as you can see, 15 countries so far on this final weekend of the 2006 championships taking home medals, and that's a very healthy situation. Well, David, Rybakov, worthy winner.
Very worthy winner. Went away, worked on his strengths, but also worked on his weaknesses.
Well, we'll be back very shortly, as I said, at 1500 or 3 o'clock Central European time. But in fact, we've got a bit of time, and the reason we've got a bit of time, David, is because so many men bombed out in the first half of the competition. I'm happy to say that we can see Andrei Rybakov get those medals, but maybe as they're coming out we can think ahead a little bit to the 94 kilo championship, because that does promise to be very special. Alexander Kolovich on the left there of Belarus. A lot trimmer than he used to be.
Yes, yeah, used to weigh 120 kilos, and I think had a best clean and jerk of 266 on the Olympic Games a couple of times.
So Zhao Takushev with a total of 370, getting the bronze medal. He's a man who has been affected by nerves on the competition stage, so maybe this will settle him down, having got the European bronze medal. His much more experienced teammate, Yuri Mishkovets, former European champion and many times on a European podium, taking the silver on this occasion. But without doubt, a man who has put in a world-class performance here and is streets ahead of the opposition, Andrei Rybakov. absolutely worthy. And if there was a podium, David, that was a bit taller, he should be standing on it because he's head and shoulders above this block. There's no one in his class. And to be fair, has improved on the clean and jerk. So it's still not his strength, but it's not quite so weak. So Belarus takes the championship, and the reward for Andre, his national anthem, and the appreciation of the audience here in the Chetnevo Olympic Center. Well, David, now the individual medals are going to be presented for the snatch and clean and jerk. Obviously, Andrei Rybakov will get another 2 gold medals, but let's just look ahead to 3 o'clock this afternoon. Some terrific performers, if they're up to the mark. Milan Dobrev for Bulgaria, the Olympic and world champion. If he's anything like his best, he's going to be a tough nut to crack. Coming back into action, Poland's own Szymon Kolecki, a man who's been plagued with back problems throughout his career, also served a couple of years for a doping infringement, but at his very best, Olympic silver medalist in Sydney in that awesome clash with Kakashvilis. Also in the lineup, the European champion and the world champion Nizami Pashayev from Azerbaijan. That was his second world title that he won in Doha. And the junior world champion from Belarus, Mikolai Patotsky, who won the junior world championship in 2003, now 22 years of age. Interesting to see, given the form of the Belarus squad, what sort of performance he's going to put in. Junior world champion, also another teenager from Georgia, 18-year-old Arsen Kasabiev, junior world champion last year, totaling up 375 kilos, the same as he lifted in taking the junior European title. So real talent. Well, Bulgaria haven't had much success to speak of here. I wonder whether Dobrev, who is the Olympic champion, he's an outstanding athlete if he's anything like his best. I wonder whether he can finally get some goals for Bulgaria. Interesting to get your assessment at the beginning of that when you've had a look at them in the warm-up room and see whether you think he's actually up to it. There will be a new champion, whatever, because Hakan Yilmaz, who won the title last year for Turkey, as we mentioned before, unable to defend his title. The Turks, their suspension ends a little later this month. And in fact, right on cue there, we've got an email in from Achilles asking exactly that question. Well, they were banned for 9 months for a variety of misdemeanors. In other words, not turning up or not being available for anti-doping tests. And they were also fined $100,000. Coming back into international competition to host, actually, in Izmir, the World University Championships. I think, in all honesty, David, it would have been a year's ban, but for that.
Yeah, I don't know the whole story.
Well, it's an unhappy saga, but it's an unnecessary punishment because the message has got to go out to everybody you will be caught. Well,
I think that's one of the kind of credits to weightlifting, though. They do actually punish people for drug infringements, which can't be said about all sports.
Well, time for us to take our leave. As I said, we'll be back at 3 o'clock Central European time for that 94-kilo final. Everybody's there, so I hope we can persuade you to spend a little bit more of your Saturday afternoon with us. For now, though, from David Morgan and myself, David Goldstrom, bye-bye from Poland.
Qualquer medo de ver.